Okay, namaste, great souls. Always so great to be here together, sharing satsang, sharing the spiritual truth of our beings. And yoga is such a practice for that, to tune in. And we're just going to go do some basics, come back to some basics, of course, with the breath. But before we do the breath practice of pranayama, I want you to just close your eyes and tune into your physical body, taking a gentle assessment, see what's going on there. And then your emotional body, and feel if there's been this kind of a mood, you know, something going on this morning or the last 24 hours that hasn't been comfortable. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe you're in a neutral and upward facing direction, but just tuning into what it is that's going on for you. And you're going to breathe into it. You're going to breathe into it. And what we're going to do is, when we tune in and take an assessment of our physical, mental, emotional body, we're just going to energize it. We're going to tense it. So we're going to take a double breath. We know how to do this, a short, long, and tense the whole body. Ready? Inhale. Tense, tense, tense. Make a fist with your hands. Vibrate with energy. Press through your feet. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And when you're ready to exhale, double breath exhale. And see if you can just ease some of that maybe difficult anxiety or fear or whatever's going on. If it's been a challenging mood, just see that, feel it dissipating. The same with the physical stuff. We're going to take a double breath. Inhale. Tense, 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 tense. Vibrate with energy. And then as you exhale, double breath. See if we can create just a little bit more ease, a little bit more ease. Excellent. I'm going to step back here and do the classic pranayama, which I'll invite us into a 4, 6, 8 breath cycle, meaning inhale 4, hold 6, exhale 8. If that doesn't work for you, that count, of course, adjust it to a count that works for you. So sitting down, for me, you're probably already sitting down. Roll the shoulders up, down, and around. Tigger's joining us, of course. And lengthen up through the crown. So just go ahead, and we're going to exhale through the mouth, letting go breath. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Focus at the spiritual eye. 4, 5, 6. Exhale through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do it again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take one more round at your own timing. That gentle focus at the spiritual eye, bringing the energy up to the prefrontal cortex, getting it out of reptilian survival brain in the back. And then once you finish that exhale, just return to whatever the breath pattern is that's appearing now. And again, just tune in. It may not have dissipated in a huge amount, the mood or whatever's going on, but see if there's a gentle shift as we focus on taking our medicine, our breath medicine within. We know it takes 5 minutes to get that nervous system change, the parasympathetic opening up. So we just did a few minutes there, but you have a prescription for calming the nervous system. And as you're breathing, we're breathing in, I am. As you exhale, spirit. I am spirit. We are this physical, mental, emotional body, but the greater truth is that we are this spiritual being that's aware of all the changes. And the Sanskrit word for that is H-O-N-G, Hong on the inhale, Saw on the exhale, S-A-U. Okay, I'll add some movement. Yay for movement. Let's go into a half butterfly, extending the left leg out, peeling the toes back, and just gently facing that right knee, stretching up through the right arm and arcing over. So we not collapse down, but we're getting this wonderful side stretch as we consciously breathe. And if we were standing in our half moon, it's a variation of opening in that half moon in a seated position. So we're affirming, we're opening to strength and courage. Fill my body cells. Strength and courage. Fill my body cells. Beautiful. Inhale, coming up, just sweeping the arm up, really opening through the intercostal spaces of the ribs. And then facing that outstretched leg, the right hand inside the right knee, twisting. And hands in namaste. Hands at the spiritual eye, hands at the crown, and reaching up, taking your time. You can use the strap. I'm going to grab a strap. Thread it around the ball of the foot. Take your time up first, the extension phase. So you're really opening that hamstring and opening the heart, elongating through the spine, just gradually opening up. And then we go into the yin phase, the rounded spine, opening to the wisdom of the heart and affirming and tuning in right now. I am safe. I am sound. I am safe. I am sound. Learn to rest in that safety, cultivating it within, reflecting on that around you. Belly's expanding and condensing, hearing that oceanic sound. And then we rise up, we lift the heart, we lift the head, sweeping the arms up, twisting forward, and really wide open heart. Make sure you move the strap because we're going to come on top of the knee. I'm going to come onto the blanket here for extra padding. And stretching up and reaching perhaps that left arm out to the side. Really get this long length through the side body. Dynamic yang extension. Opening up to energy and joy, filling the body cells. All right, sweeping that arm down and just coming back into our seat. You could go into classic butterfly if you want. Or one foot in front of the other and taking that in. So inhale, draw the energy upward. I am on the exhale, spirit. Getting more deeply into my body, mind, and spirit. And the sound of the breath, the rhythm. This is the therapy, which it is. We're tuning in. So extending now the right leg and getting rooted down through the sit bones. See if this works for your body, facing that bent left knee. We're going to stretch the left arm up and come into our side stretch. If you can, reaching that right arm inside, arcing over. This is too much, you always ease back a little bit. Make it work for you, or do another variation of a pose that does work for you. But we're affirming strength and courage. Fill my body cells. And you could make it work for you. May I have the strength and courage to fill my body cells right now, whatever the challenge may be in your personal life, physical, mental, emotional, relational. Of course, I could go on. I'll stop. But we have the skills to tune in and center and restore ourselves. Inhale, coming up. Lengthen and grow. Twisting toward that outstretched right leg, taking your strap and bring it around the ball of the foot. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold. So a couple breaths here. The straight spine, really feeling the hamstring, feeling the central channel opening. When you're ready, the softening, the rounding, the ease. Letting go as much as we can. Tuning into the heart, the back, front, sides of the chest. Creating space there. And allowing and affirming. I am safe. I am sound. I am safe. I am sound. We're returning into the heart of peace, of calmness and peace, safety. Root chakra and heart chakra combined. And when you're ready, inhale, elongate. Here's where we do the sweeping transition. You bring your left arm down. You can use a blanket. And we're going to rise up. That works for your body. Stretching up. And then perhaps over with that right arm. Really getting that wonderful extension. Energy, opening up to energy and joy. We go into calmness, into energy, joy, all the qualities of the divine within us. I am spirit. And when it's time for you, we'll come down, sweeping the arm down into the butterfly or one foot in front of the other. Take that in back into the central channel. We've obviously opened the left, opened the right side. Now we tune in to the central channel of the breath, the spine, belly, heart, crown. Expands on the inhale, I am. Exhale, crown, heart, belly, feeds, spirit. And then rounding forward. Oh, a deep hip opener. See if you could bring your elbows forward, tucking the chin to the hollow of the throat. Really breathe in, not only the hips, but the back of the heart. Again, affirming that security, safety, acceptance of what's happening. Secure. I am safe. I am sound. bowing to the wisdom of the heart. The mind is a wonderful tool, we know, but it can get into negative stories and false narratives and all kinds of things. So we want to bring it in to the wisdom of the heart and bring in one gratitude. Bring in one gratitude right now. It could be the simplest thing. I'm appreciating a little coolness in the mornings for now. And when we bring our heart into our mind into the heart, and we could stop any if there's any negative looping going on. Again, there may not be for you right now. That's beautiful. If that's the case, we're going to use a blanket, and we're going to come into our cat-cow, but on our forearms. Okay, so we come down onto our forearms, and to make the measurement right, we just measure and gently touch the outer elbows so that the forearms can come down. That's the right alignment. The knees underneath the hips, the toes are turned under, and we're going to scoop it out on the inhale, or scoop it up, I should say. Exhale, round. Draw the navel to the spine as you do this. Inhale, scooping up, cat, and then rounding cow. One more. Inhale, breathing in, exhale, rounding. Okay, now transitioning, bring your hands where the elbow tips were, and we're going to bring our left fingertips to face the right hand, the whole torso twist. We're going to thread the needle, the right arm comes up, and then we thread this right arm through, and we're resting on the right side of the head, and we're rocking. We're pressing gently with that left hand. We know rocking movements are very calming to the nervous system, right? Softening tensions, past traumas with rocking. Giving ourselves that nourishment of rocking. Now, we're going to stabilize. If this isn't your practice, it may or may not be. We're going to extend that left leg. I'm going to turn my right palm down for a little more grounding, and then see if you want to bring that left leg up. This is optional. 3 to 4 breaths. We're not staying long. Okay, and down. Fold the knee in. Unfurl. Just enough. Before we go to the other side, let's take a full down dog. Okay, so we'll hover and then stretch it back. Press through the base of the fingers. Full body stretch. Thank you, body, for all you can do. Even with the challenges that may be going on. Grateful for what we can do. Calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. See how that feels for you. Calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Okay, come back onto the knees. You know what's coming next. Right fingertip face the left hand. The whole torso sweeps upward with the arm. And then we thread the arm through. Resting on the left side of the head here. And giving ourselves that nourishment of rocking. Pressing through the right hand. Feel how your body responds to the rocking movement, nourishing
most likely. It's not. You'll maybe stay stable. And now we all are going to go stable. If we can do this, I'm going to turn that left palm down. That may be too much on your shoulder, so you can keep it up. And let's just see. I could tell, oh, this side's different. Okay. Then you extend that right leg and lift off. Each side is different. Little balance challenge here. Yeah, different planes, different balance planes. Yoga's so great for that. We all need that balance. And folding in and unfurling out. Ooh, let's circle around with the hips. Keep the flow going. A couple times in one direction. And a couple swirls in the opposite. That's it. Okay, let's take it onto the forearms again, but this time in a plank. So forearm plank. So we're reaching back through the feet. Toes are curled under, the heart comes forward, and then we reach back toward the heels. See if we can come forward and come back. Just a couple times. Forward and back, and then regular forearm plank before we come on top of the knees and curl the toes and come into our Sphinx pose. So the legs are strong at this point. We're looking over one shoulder, then the other, and we're going to move into a locust series, which means the arms come down by our side. Forehead spiritual eye touches the floor. One leg at a time, starting with the right leg, upper body lifts. Inhale, pulsing up, rising up. And those wings of joy, maybe expanding both arms, both hands off the ground. Exhale, soften a little bit. And then recharge. Inhale. Recharging the spine. Expanding into our wings of joy. Ease. And one more rise. If you want the arms to come out a little bit more, you can. And then this time, before we go to the other side, we rest. One palm on top of the other, resting at the point between the eyebrows, the spiritual eye. Large toes touch, heels apart, and just melt. And breathe. Really absorb the support of the earth. Mother Earth supporting us all. Opening to the light, opening, I am spirit in this form. Reaching the arms out to the side. Imagine that block between the thighs. The legs are engaged. The left leg lifts up, pulse up. See if you want to bring the arms a little bit farther forward. As we recharge our wings of joy, exhale, soften. 3 pulses here. You decide how far the heart and the arms expand out to the side as you lift up and ease. We know the most challenging is the arms above the head. See if you want to do that or not. Inhale, pulsing up. And then exhale. Other hand on top. Large toes touch, heels apart, melting to the earth. Really feel your back body lighter and your front body heavier because we can rest it. Tune into the sound of the breath and deeply affirm, I am on the inhale and the exhale spirit. I am spirit. in this form. Feet hip width apart. We're gonna rise and greet the day, seeing what this day is gonna bring, and our Bhujangasana Cobra pose, hands underneath our shoulders, elbows by our side, legs strong. You decide if you want mini cobra, half cobra with the knees on the ground, or full cobra, rising up, sticking out the tongue. Exhale the tension out. Rising to greet this day simultaneously. So every breath we can release the tension and we can open to the inspiration. Knees touch down, one rounded cat-cow. Transition. Neutral spine. And coming back, hovering the knees off the earth and pouring back into a wonderful down dog. Seeing if you want to tread it. Meaning bending one knee, then the other. Stabilize or ripple or any combination thereof. But the deep affirmation is calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. If you're stable, you can make small circles with the head, releasing the neck. And then walking one foot forward, then the other, one hand, then the other. Large toes turn in till we rest with the palms at the hollows at the elbows. Try to be balanced between the heel and the ball of the feet. 4 points there. And relaxing and casting aside any unnecessary mental burdens. When we do that, when we do that, that's a big part of it, is letting go. We don't need to hold on to, but then we can open ourselves and allow the flow of the divine to move through us. More, it's always moving through us, but it could do so more easily when we let go of any unnecessary mental burden. So as we come up, we bend the knees, we sweep the arms back, and we allow the flow of the divine to move through us more easily as we reach up and feel the space all around you, as well as within you, circling around. Coming into your mountain pose, rooting down through the 4 points of the feet, rising up through the crown. Tuning in to the sound of the breath. Lengthen the exhale if you're needing more calming. Lengthen the inhale if you're needing more energy. Okay. I'm going to have a sip of lemon water here before we go into our sun salute affirmation, but it's not quite a sun salute that we'll be doing. So we're bringing the hands into Namaste. And we're opening to the light. We're opening up to the light, the outer sun, the inner sun, and the spiritual eye. And we're opening to all souls as well. They, as we come to the, I'm just moving to the front of the mat here. We want to invite all souls to receive this light through the crown, through the arms as we reach up for healing, for the higher consciousness. We're opening up to higher consciousness within all beings, bringing others onto our mat that may be struggling, and we're offering them prayers of care as we come forward, opening to the light within, Squeezing the tension out. And then bringing the hands down and stepping back into our three-legged dog, if possible. So if you can, you're going to draw the inner borders of the feet together and lift that right leg up. This is in your practice. And we're going to take our time bending that right knee and bringing the right knee to the right elbow in a plank for a moment. And then kick that leg back. And then bring that right knee to the left elbow. As we're coming into plank. And then coming back. Opening up with that right leg extended perhaps. And bend that knee and step it between the hands. It could take several steps to get there. Take your time, spinning that back foot 30 degrees, rising up into warrior one eventually. So we come up.
Arms come up, make sure the feet are hip width apart at least. And then exhale, bending the elbows, tracking that knee over the ankle. You can use 3-pound, 5-pound weights here if you'd like. And we're going to pulse a little bit, okay? This is too much on your low back. What I recommend is spinning those back toes in and then having a bend of the knee there. So if you want to do that variation, it's not quite an official Virabhadrasana one, but make it work for you. So it looked like this. I attune my will to the source of all power. Classic one now. I attune my will to the source of all power. And then we're going to just end this. Let's all do that. And let's all bring that back foot in a little bit. Bend that back knee. And then do a little cat-cow with the upper body. Rounding the spine gently. And then opening as we lunge. So adding on here, rounding gently the upper body, and then expanding, and then reaching back through that foot. So we're just making it more dynamic. And guess what? We're going to add our eagle arms. So we're bringing the left elbow perhaps underneath the right elbow, or if that's too much like this. So Garandasana arms. And then stepping forward with that left foot. So I'll face your direction or angle. So we're rooting down. We know classic eagle Garandasana is coming up next. So we're going to look at a point on the floor. I forgot to bring the block by the side. I will in the next time. Okay. And we're gonna bend the knees and lift. Here's our balance challenge. Our left leg up. Wrap it. We could just tap that left foot down or lift it off or do the full wrap if that's in your practice. Amidst life storms, I find my center. Amidst life storms, I find my center. We come back to our center, to be in our center amidst life storms. And then we unravel the arms. Ooh. Reaching up. Let's do our classic tailbone down. Half moon standing, arcing over to the right. We need strength and courage, of course, amidst life storms. Inhale, coming up. And to the other side. And bring those prayers of care to others that are facing their storms or challenges. May they find the strength and courage, the growth, the learning amidst life storms. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Take it in before we do the series to the other side. Just mountain pose, rooting down, really, really feeling that connection to the earth. And let the earth energy, Mother Earth energy, fill you up with strength and courage. And the Father Sky energy, I feel them both coming into our own hearts. Father Sky, Mother Earth, divine connection now. That chi ball of energy in our hearts from sky and earth. We could do this energy work, or we bring both in to our own hearts with this tremendous support. Coming into Namaste. Open to the light, salute to the sun, to the higher power within and all around us, and the awakening of higher consciousness to all beings. Okay, let's do our flow to the other side. Oh, I'm going to bring my block over. So inhale, rising up. Exhale, swan dive forward.
Forward fold, letting any unnecessary burdens, mental burdens release, so we can allow that light of spirit to really fill us up. I am spirit, we're tuning into it. Bend the knees, step it back to three-legged dog. And you guessed it, the left leg lifts up. Extending perhaps if possible, and then the left knee to the left elbow and plank. You kick it back, extend up again. And the left knee to the right elbow. Upper and strong, meant to be. Our warrior pose is coming up here. The left leg reaches up, and three-legged dog, and we step that left foot forward. Take our time in our Virabhadrasana 1, or warrior 1. Inhale, rising up, left hip back, right hip forward. Get rooted. Inhale, sweeping the arms out to the side, and bending the elbows. We're going to reach our arms up this time. I attune my will to the source of all power, rooting and rising. I attune my will to the source of all power. Okay, this is where we're doing that variation. I'm going to place my hands on my hips and step that back foot in, spin off the back heel, bend the knee, protect the low back, draw the tailbone down. And we'll do the cat-cow upper body a few times. Rounded. And then expansive. Challenging. Rounded. And expansive. Garandasana arms, right elbow underneath the left. I'm rooting down from my back heel for a moment to get the stabilization of the arms. And I'm stepping my back foot forward, getting set up for eagle. The block's on the outside of the left foot. Looking at a point in front of you, lifting off that right leg and sitting in our eagle pose. Amidst life storms, I find my center. Lift the tips of the elbows up as much as you can, the hips down. Amidst life storms, I find my center. Be able, it could be more of a prayer.
May be able to come back to my center amidst life storms. And lifting up, unraveling, opening up. Ooh, I'm feeling the heat now. Internal heat. Lengthen and grow. We're not going to do a half moon. We're just going to float the arms down. Feel the benefits of that combination of eagle and warrior one. Very strong. You're probably feeling it. Coming back to mountain. Open heart, thumb, index finger together, individual self, uniting with the infinite, infinite pouring through the individual self, open through the crown, open to sky, sun, moon, stars, nature. To that higher consciousness than all beings, offering those prayers to others if you like, that speaks to you. So we know we're bringing others to our mat as well. Okay. Let's go into, let's see what time we got. Yeah, I'm gonna get another drink. If you want to have bring your weights to class, we're gonna do a triangle with weights. With I think I have, I don't know if it's 3 or 5 pounds. I think it's 5. But if you do have those, we need to build bone strength. So see if you like it. We're going to and this is a little different with the weights because we're going to start with our toes in and then just feel if this works for you in a star pose like this. If it doesn't, then I would say use lighter weights or maybe not use the weights. We're going to turn the right toes out. Expand the heart. You can still get that fluidity. It's a little more challenging, but we're reaching over and you can use the weight like a block here without collapsing into it, or you can hold on to it, but lifting up through that opposite arm, head to tail connected, energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. If it's okay to extend into a theta, it's a lot with the weight. We're coming down and around. You can let that weight go if you're using it. And just circle the arm. Oh, so much easier. It's nice to have the weight when we're in this pose. And then maybe let it ease. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Now from here, let's take it into a bent knee triangle. So here's regular triangle. Bent knee, I'm gonna zip that back, foot back a little bit more. And bring the hand on the instep or by the little toe or use a block. You can also have your forearm on your thigh. And we're bending that knee and getting that very dynamic extension like we did earlier, but remember we were resting on the knee. Now we're off of that knee and on the foot and still getting that dynamic side stretch. Very expansive, beautiful. And then to go to the other side, we're going to transition, feeling the right toes, and if you can, walking your hands and bending the left knee and still stretching up through that left arm. So we're still getting very dynamic hamstring stretch here as we gradually transition into Prasarita Padottanasana, our forward fold. We're halfway down, spine's elongated, and then we exhale into our forward fold. Hands can be above the ankles. They can be reaching back between the legs. Either way you go, again and again, letting go of unnecessary mental burdens. So much is about letting go
what we can't control. We're opening, of course, controlling what we can, the wisdom to know the difference, the serenity prayer. Open to the flow of divine life within us. Okay, coming up, I'm gonna demo with the weights. You may or may not have those available. You can always try this at your home practice. Turning the left toes out. So, reaching out. How many triangle poses have we done in our lifetime? We add the weights, it adds a different dimension, a strength dimension, energy dimension. Reaching over. Taking your time. Seeing if you want to use a block or slide that block down. Opening up head to tail. Same principles of the physical alignment as we invoke energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Joy is alive within me. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Now you may want to take the weight down onto the ground or swirl as you're swirling around. Release it. You'll know. And get that flow going in the scapula and the side body. Beautiful. Bending your left knee. So bent knee triangle. We're taking it from straight leg to bent knee. That's all. Maybe using the block or the weight. Knee ankle perpendicular. And extend. Again, that dynamic side stretch all the way from the fingertips back down to the heel, side of the foot, everything in between. So that tailbone slightly in, and allow that flow, energy and joy flow, flowing joy. Fill my body cells. Ooh, okay. All right, when you're complete, we're going to come back and do that stretch. So we peel the left toes up, walk our hands forward, we bend the right knee, takes a little bit of an opening twist here with that right arm up, left toes up. We're looking toward the right hand. And coming forward. Yay, body. Thank you, body. Let's elongate forward this time. Feel the space between each vertebra. And from here, we'll walk our hands back underneath the shoulders. Walk the feet in enough to come down onto your knees. And let's just, I know this may not be the most comfortable to sit like this, but let's just take that in. This is dynamic. Standing pose flow. Okay, get into the central channel of the spine. I am spirit. Get used to tuning into the breath as medicine. And what you need. Okay, I'm gonna go into our bridge request series. So move these out of the way. If you have a block, I'm gonna show you a blanket to protect your neck. And there's the blanket, I was looking for it. Right in front of me. So when we do the bridge, flatten the blanket so that the head is on the outside edge of the blanket to protect your neck. We'll do a little V pose before we come down all the way. Okay, so we're lengthening up through the heart. We're extending the right leg. We're reaching, well, first just reach behind your thighs and see if both legs can come up. And then switch. And switch. Within every breath lies infinite power. Within every breath lies infinite power. Make sure you even it out before you come down. And we ripple down now. We round the spine. We start coming down into the low back, mid back, upper back. So the head is off the edge of the blanket. And let's just take a nice happy babe, or just fold the knees in first and rock side to side. Again, that rocking, we know, is so nourishing, so soothing. And then hands on the knees, circling the knees toward the chest and then away from one another. Toward the chest and away from one another. Very good. Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. Every thought can be a bridge back to my true self. Okay? The spiritual self, the true self, not the default mode of the brain. So large toes turning in, feet plugged in, and we're going to lift the hips up. If you wanted the block between the thighs, that really guarantees the thighs drawing toward one another, the inner thighs. And then we're rocking. You could do half bridge, which is here, or you do the extension, if that's okay in your back, and you reach the one shoulder under than the other, perhaps interlocking. Every thought can be a bridge back to my true self. I am spirit. Three to 5 breaths here. When it's time for you to come out, you release the hands. You could stay longer. You could always come out earlier. You know that. Rippling down from the upper, mid to the low back. And see what you want to do, your body wants to do. Do you want to bring your knees in container, or do you want to take a moment and butterfly sutta and just allowing yourself to open? If that's okay on your hips and your low back. If you're containing your low back, you want to do something like this. Taking in that bridge pose. Taking in that ability of awareness to notice our thoughts that come and go all the time. And then if we find ourselves going down that negative bias loop and false narrative track, we can bring it back to the prefrontal and affirm what we're really doing is going to our higher self, and we'll do when we do Shavasana, we'll do a practice we haven't done in a long time, the Tonglen, where we breathe into whatever challenge you may be going through, bring others into it, and then wishing for a release of that. And it'll make more sense as we go into that. So just come back to the body, back to the breath. Back to the stillness. Slowly drawing your inner thighs toward one another. We're going to do a couple bridge walking before we do our twist release and Shavasana. Okay. So it definitely helps to have the block. We're going to inhale into our bridge again, feet hip width apart, large toes in, either low or high block for bridge walking. Do this without the blanket. All right. We've done this before in class. We're folding that right knee in, but your head staying forward once you're ready to do this. Now turning the neck and bridge walk. Play. Plant that foot. The foot turns to the side. The left knee comes up. The left leg extends. Every thought we can turn and adjust it to our higher self-awareness. Breathing in, breathing out. So catch it, and then every thought, we bridge back, a return back to my higher self. Whatever that means for you, your higher self. You all have it. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, melting. Well, let's stay here. Let's stay here in a couple breaths in our bridge pose and variations that work for you. Either hands together, hands apart. Inner thighs magnetizing. And then melting down. Upper, mid, low back. Hold those knees in. The nurturance of rocking again. Let the head go, side to side. And our wonderful lying down twist. Supta Padangusthasana. Draw the interlocking around underneath the right knee or on top as that left leg extends out. And circle. Circle the hip. Plant the right foot down, lift the hips up, swivel over to the side. The opposite hand comes over and we pulse back and forth again. That ease of rocking. Knee and shoulder, knee and shoulder. This is stage one. To stabilize here, stage two. You can extend that leg. Either way, the left toes turn up, the heart opens wide. And that right arm comes up and around. Again, I open to the flow of God's life within me. Divine life within me, Goddess life within me. I open to it. Feel that opening. They're asking and we're receiving. As we soften the knee and we plant the foot and we swivel onto our spine and we fold the right knee in and let's extend the right leg to the sky, the arms to the sky, plug in the shoulders simultaneously. Take your time to reach the arms above the head and that right heel comes down. And we just take a moment here and feel the benefits. Probably can't help but tune in to the sound of your breath, its rhythm, its pulsation. And draw the inner borders of the feet together as we bring that left knee in. Lunar side. Rotating the ankle. Try to do this every class. I try to do it every day. Usually do. Let the left knee circle around. And then plant that left foot down, swivel the hips. And opposite arm reaches over, pulsing back and forth, hydrating and rocking. Stage 1, keep that knee bent. Stage 2, extend, but the right toes come up, contain the core. Press through that right elbow, root the shoulders down, and the left arm, if possible, sweeps up and around. I open to the flow of divine life within me. It's like every thought is a bridge back to the grace, the truth of yourself, every opening up to the flow. God's life within me. Every breath. And then we soften the left knee. And when you're ready, and we plant the foot down so that we swivel and adjust onto our spine and melt the, oh, I forgot the left knee in. And the left leg up, the arms up, the shoulders plug in simultaneously. Arms reach behind you, left leg down, and opening into your Shavasana. Just taking in now before we go official Shavasana, the left side, the lunar side. Neutralization of the waves of feeling, one definition of yoga. Right hand on the belly, left hand on the heart. We breathe into the central channel, left and right come together. Stop, focus at the spiritual eye. No, there's light there. No, there's energy also that takes us away from seeing that light. That's why it's the Bhagavad Gita. It's an inner battle to keep opening to the light. Light wins, light's good. And tune into what would feel best for you for your Shavasana. Would it be this pose here? Do you want a bolster? Do you want legs up the wall? Just really listen and see what's going to work for you today. For deep, we've already given ourselves the movement, and now we're going into deep restoration, really relaxing and being and receiving. Good if you like. So as we're getting set up, just a little bit of a review that we started with the tensing and relaxing. And we can do that now too. Once you get settled, you could tense and gently relax and release. So that's that energization and then the relaxation, letting go breath. Okay. As you get settled and I guide us through the Shavasana and the body scan, this is all what I was teaching from is a classic Yogananda philosophy of tensing, relaxing, and affirmations. This part here is a Tonglen Buddhist practice where what we want to do is we want to, once I guide you through, but as I just want you to start thinking about this now, that whatever you're going through, personal challenge, and there seems to always be something going on that level, that we're actually going to breathe into it. We're going to breathe into it. We're going to breathe others that are going through it as well. We don't have to know who those people are, just that you're not alone in this. And then as we exhale, then we're releasing that out. So, for example, if you're going through a
family or personal situation of being misunderstood. That's a common one. And or miscommunication in your partnership or family dynamics. You're going to breathe that in. You're going to bring others that may feel like this. You don't have to know who they are. And then as we breathe out, we want safe, compassionate, effective communication. Okay, so hold in the yin and yang in a Tonglen Buddhist way. Okay, so getting settled. Giving yourself this gift of restoration and physical, emotional release. I'm gonna start from the crown. Imagine that light coming through the crown, healing the body, softening the forehead, relaxing the eyes. Let the eyelids get heavy. And we're looking gently inward, compassionately inward. Relaxing the left and the right jaw. If that means exaggerating a yawn, go ahead and do that. Hear the oceanic sound of your breath. Keep taking that medicine of healing and being present with the breath. Expansion on the inhale. The letting go as much as we can on the exhale. And as those shoulders soften, we feel perhaps the ease of the arms. Natural bend of the elbows. Natural bend of the wrists, left and right. Pulsation, sensation in the palms of the hands, digits of the fingers. And perhaps feeling how now, if you're lying on your back body is getting heavy, supported by the earth. Front body lighter. And really creating space in the heart center, the chest cavity. And just bring to mind whatever you may be challenged with right now. I'm going to use the example of misunderstood and miscommunication. And then bring others that you don't have to know them, that others, many people go through this challenge that you're going through, most likely, of being misunderstood at times, or whatever it is you're facing. We actually breathe into it. Try to open to it as much as you can, because it's what's going on. The natural tendency is to contract away from it. And then with your particular challenge, notice what the much better effect, and why this is so hard, why this is such a challenge. So as you breathe out, in my example, I'm using like safe, effective, compassionate communication. Or you're heard and possibly understood. So breathing out what you would like to happen. You know, that others would like to have this happen for others as well. So breathing in the challenge, others going through it, and breathing out the release. That's love and accepting yourself. Coming back to the breath in the body, the belly, the ribs. Creating space in the center of the body. And continuing that body scan, just noticing the cheeks, the hips, thighs, left and right, the knees, calves, the ankles, left and right. Open through the soles of the feet, heels, toes. Relaxed yet aware. And they ask for divine strength and wisdom at this time. Peace and protection of all beings. Opening the higher consciousness, may it prevail. Guiding our hearts. Thinking, shaping our actions to the beauty of peace. And then if you've drifted and want to return to movement, you're certainly welcome to do that, or you're welcome to stay in deep restoration as continuing to receive divine strength and wisdom at this time. And we send it when you're ready. If you're transitioning, we'll send the 3-syllable Om sound to others, visualizing those that you'd like to send healing energy to. Rubbing the hands together, if that speaks to you, or just the strong intention of visualizing others. Inhale. Ah. Ah. And bringing the hands in namaste, acknowledging divine life within you, that recognition of that divinity within everyone and everything. That's where we are one. As we bow to the wisdom of our heart, letting it lead the way throughout the days.